Hello, friends. Welcome in to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Mondays are a little weird because I've got the workplace staff meeting. A lot of controversy. We've been promoting on the air that if you take your propane tank to whatever propane place, if you mention the radio station, you get $3 off for each one of the tanks. So it just so happens that while I was up there, I have a couple of empty tanks. And I was going to be in the area where this place is. I'll bring my tanks and I'll fill them up. And I get $3 off per if you mention the radio station. So I get them filled up. I go, hey, and I didn't say where I worked. I just said, yeah, hey, I understand if I mention Q100, I get $3 off for each one of those tanks. And then, I know this because I've been talking about it on the air for months. Hey, take your empty cylinders, your empty tanks. They'll knock $3 off per. Just tell them Q100 sent you. So I actually said, I go, hey, I guess I'm supposed to mention Q100. She goes, yeah. She seemed kind of annoyed. I go, uh-oh. So then she's writing up I'm going to pay her. She goes, it's $3 off for one. You don't get $3 off for each one. Now that flies in the face of what I have been told. Because I'm low man on the totem pole at the radio station. So if they tell me, so I've been promoting $3 off per. And I even said, I go, everyone? And they said, yep. I go, okay. Well, something went wrong. So right there, this is on Friday. I'm in the parking lot driving away with Pooh Bear. And I call the lady in the office. Her name is Tanya. And I oftentimes joke with Pooh Bear. I don't joke. I just tell her, Tanya loves me. And she always refers to me as, I've talked about this before, honey bun, sweetie pie, baby, honey, gumdrop, pumpkin, and that's all I'm known as there. And Pooh Bear thinks it's hilarious, so I call on the speaker, and sure enough, she picks it up. Well, hello. She got that typical Michigan accent. Hello there, pumpkin gumdrop. Dinah starts laughing her ass off. Hello, my pumpkin gumdrop lover boy. Hello, baby. Hello, gumdrop. I explained to her what's going on. Fast forward to today, we've got our big radio staff meeting. And boy, this is a big issue. Because, if they're not offering it, I've been talking about it on the air for months. So we gotta not talk about it. The decision was made at the highest level that we must wait until the guy who runs the propane company gets back from hunting lions and giraffes and baby giraffes and baby lions. He's hunting all of those things. He's one of these big game hunters. So what he does is he shows up at these sanctuaries where, you don't even have to, hunt. You just walk up to the baby lion and you just shoot it right in the face. Or you walk up to the giraffe and you just hit it with a big sword. And then you pose next to it. So that's what he's doing. He's in Africa doing those things. Baby, what's that one? The baby hippo, Fiona. He slaughters baby hippos for weeks on end. He's got the most baby hippo murders ever. He's got an entire collection of him surrounded by dead baby tigers, baby lions, baby giraffes, baby hippos, and anything else that is adorable. He just wastes them. And then the hillbillies up there, they love that. He's slaughtered thousands of baby gorillas and monkeys. That's his thing. Alan says you aren't a real big game hunter if you don't behead a baby giraffe. Oh yeah, he does that, and then he'll actually cut the head off the mom, and you get more points if the mom is with a calf, and he puts the head actually over his head and walks around with it. It's unbelievable. Well, anyway, that guy is rich as shit. He could afford $3 per, but I don't know what the fuck is going on. So that was a big bone of contention for the radio station. All right. News just broke here at the household, and I am staying out of the way to avoid any catastrophic moments, but Pooh Bear just got some annoying news. She had scheduled cataract surgery for in 2 weeks, and they just called her up and said, hey, we're just letting you know your insurance does not cover this. And I go, oh. She goes, yeah, I'm pissed. Now I got to find a place that accepts the insurance. I go, yeah, you do. So she's stomping around here. And she says that the information that the doctors had was old about our insurance. So she says, here, I need your card. I go, all right, take it. Now, I don't know. Mine might be old, too. I haven't used my insurance card in forever. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. But she's pissed off. She says, I need you to call the insurance company and kick their ass. And I go, you got it. You got it. David says, I thought you bought fancy marketplace insurance. Oh, I did. But for some reason, this place is not on it. So I said to her, I go, you got to find a place that takes your insurance. And so it begins. Now, I know that you guys have been, like Bob there, he's been waiting. People in general have been, not Bob, David there has been waiting for something bad to happen concerning insurance, because I love insurance. You know, that's been a thing where everybody, ever since that United Health CEO got murdered, you assholes have been saying that you're glad that guy got killed. And I'm not, that's not me, you know? I mean, some shit, I don't know why shit gets accepted or not accepted or whatever. You assholes seem to have it all figured out. All I know is this. Every time that somebody gets not accepted for life-saving cancer treatment, okay, let's say there's 100 babies and they all have a very treatable cancer. And with just a stamp of approval, those 100 babies will be kept alive. Because big insurance says denied on all 100 of them, and those babies croak, that keeps my copay down. So that's why you just accept it. You just either get it done or you don't. You either come up with the money on your own, get a different insurance carrier. I don't know. go to a different doctor, go to Tijuana, whatever. Bob says, I just hate my job's insurance, expensive and sucks. I might have by the way, if this is some math I want you to do, Bob, because your insurance sucks and it's expensive, this is what you do. I want you to take the total amount that you spend on your insurance premiums. Like every month or every paycheck, there's a certain amount that leaves your pocket. If that number is greater than 9.75% of your yearly income, you then have the option of getting your insurance through the marketplace. And what that does for you is that opens up all sorts of choices. Because a lot of times when you get insurance from the boss is going to go for those expensive policies that kind of suck because they don't want to pay for it, even if they're only paying like half of it or you're paying a percentage of the premium. Then they can say, yeah, we got insurance, full benefits. It's awesome. So when you go through the marketplace, you've got all these different carriers that are competing for your business. So do that math and let me know. And if by chance it is working in your favor that what you're paying is greater than 9.75% of your yearly income, come see me. Come to the front of the class, tap me on the shoulder, and I will introduce you to Frank Fuss. Molly says I should be able to pick any insurance company. My city only has one insurance company. Boy, I don't know how that works. Same thing for you. 9.75%. If what you pay per year is even 1 penny greater than 9.75%, you're entitled to better insurance, and I can help you. And that is a perfect opportunity for me to mention my pal Frank Fuss. He makes all of that possible. Go to buyinsurancehere.com or just reach out to me and I'll introduce you to him myself. Adam Kasari is a realtor of choice. Search Adam Kasari on Facebook, Casari, or call 616-914-4061. Adam will help you out with everything you need for your realty, whether you're selling your home or you're buying one. He makes this an easy, amazing process. So if you're in West Michigan, that's who you want to call, Adam Kasari. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, 616-532-6600. Great team over there. ervines.com. That's ervines.com. Any type of work being done on the car that you need done on the car, they can help you. They've got free loaner cars. They're amazing. 616-532-6600. There's racing this weekend at Berlin, berlinraceway.com. Get your tickets by 11:59 Friday, and they're $15. Otherwise, they go up to $20 after that. When you go online at berlinraceway.com, buy in advance and save $5. 15 and under is free. Parking is free. You can bring in a cooler, 12 by 18 or smaller, with all of your non-alcoholic beverages, all your snacks, no glass. I think one of the dumbest sports that there is it even called a sport? Have you seen slap fighting? These two people will stand in front of each other, and then one guy will veer back and hit the one guy, lets him slap him right in the face. More often than not, I see them get completely concussed and lose consciousness. I can't stop watching it. Like, if it's on, I am going to watch it. But it might be one of the dumbest things that I have ever seen in my entire life. Let's get into it. All right. Guy in the blue is going to smack guy in the black. I like how whoever's getting slapped, they got to have two guys ready to catch him in case his lights go out. The bottom of this clip, you got a split screen. Top is the slap. Bottom, that's Ronda Rousey. Her reaction is pretty good. So let's start though by keeping our eyes just on the guy getting slapped.
1, 2.
Okay. All right. So kid and play here. He swung and hit the shit out of the guy, and it hit him so hard that he lunged forward and his head smashed into the podium. That's so weird. It must have been his brain telling him to do it. The CTE just coursed through his body and said, headbutt this podium.
2.
Oh, that guy's dead. Oh. And then Rousey can't believe it.
1.
All right, this is easily the dumbest thing that has ever happened. How much can these people possibly make? Yoda World says he knocked himself out. I think he already was gone. Jeremy says it's really hot when chicks do it. I can't say that I agree with that. By the way, that came in from Man Bun Chris, who sent it along. Just above it, it says bachelorette party gone bad last night in Frisco. I can't play that one because there's nudity. You got I'll tell you what, I'll play the first second of it. You got a bunch of hot chicks. A fight breaks out, okay? But I can't play you the whole thing because there's full-on beaver. Okay? None of these chicks are wearing underwear. And those are really revealing outfits. So I don't want to play it because I could get my page nuked. But I will link it up in the show notes. And if you want to see that for yourself, it's ridiculous. Also, this news that at Jeff Bezos' wedding, which, by the way, had protesters at it for some reason. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Bezos married that one chick. I don't even know, and I don't care. But there was, they were talking about how Tom Brady was chatting up Sydney Sweeney, who's one of the it girls, I guess. And the people had their eye on these two. Brady, 47, Sweeney, 27. Okay. Now that, to me, I mean, that's too much. What is the formula? Half plus 17? So 47 divided by half is what, 23 and a half? Half and then add. What is the formula? That's not right, is it? Or is it add 7? Half, add 7? So that would mean that the youngest Brady would be able to date is 30 and a half years old. Yeah, I can't. Even that. But Brady is unique because he looks young. He looks very young. All right? So there's really nothing. I mean, these are both adults. But I can't really do it. I just can't make the exception, even for Brady, who's kind of a freak of nature when it comes to overall looking youthful. So I don't know where this is going to go, but a lot of people are interested in the fact that Tom Brady and Sydney Sweeney were palling around at the Bezos wedding. I still want to know what happened between Brady and Gisele Bundchen. There's been rumors about, I think it was like a yoga instructor or something like that, or karate instructor, or paddleball instructor with Gisele, or I don't know. Maureen says, I do not find Tom Brady attractive at all. Cole makes a horrible comment, and that comment is exceptions made for those titties. Jesus. Jeremy says she has a nice pair of personalities. Chris says huge tracts of land. I don't know what that one means. I don't know. I think that if I'm Tom Brady, I can just imagine him walking in and then hot chicks making eye contact with him. And if you're Tom Brady, you're kind of like, all right, well, I'm just gonna start. It's like speed dating. Go talk to all of them. You know? And then perhaps you're taking somebody home. Then you have like a match made in heaven. Like our show power couple, Brian and Megan, who their life together started as a one-night stand. That was all revealed to us when we had our little meal before the our pinball orgy that happened there. We all learned that. We all learned that those two got together because of a one-night stand. Like, I don't know what the conversation was. But like Megan is seated right next to Jack, who is a 7-year-old. You know, it was Megan, Stevie, and then Jack. And the conversation is about a one-night stand, and I'm like, oh, God damn it. Adam brought his kid, which was totally cool. I had no problem with it. I told him to bring him. But Stevie, I mean, had I known better, if I would have been thinking, I wouldn't have sat Jack next to Stevie. Because Stevie, the only thing she hates worse than Trump, children. She wants to murder all children. She's a psychopath. That's why whenever we talk about abortion, she acts like she's turned on. Stevie says, no, it was fine. Yeah, I don't know that it was. I know that if I had a 7-year-old child and Stevie's wants to murder the kid, that's definitely not fine. And Megan's talking about how she bedded some guy at a bar and then ended up marrying him. Jeremy says, yeah, we were talking about our favorite charities. And Megan blurted out, Brian and I were supposed to be a one-night stand. It was that sudden. And then Stevie looked at Jack, and she was taking her index finger and putting it into her a hole that she made with her thumb and index finger on the other hand. And she said to Jack, do you know what a one-night stand is? And the kid was like, what? Huh? So that was kind of weird. I don't know how fine that was. All right. Enough nonsense. Some follow-up from the first half of the podcast. We talked about the bumblebee tuna fish story. And I found this on Reddit. This is Jose. Moments before he was on break outside of the facility. See, it says bumblebee tuna on his shirt. These are the ovens. And the cans of tuna come in. See these square things here? Those are pallets of tuna fish. I had the mechanism of death wrong. These tracks in the oven is where these pallets are pushed into. And they roll into there, and then the fire comes out of these pipes here, and then the tuna is cooked. Well, he was inside of this thing cleaning it, and then they pushed the fucking tuna fish into there, and they didn't know that he was locked in. The oven was on for 2 hours. 2 hours. They thought that Jose quit. God damn, is that fucked up. Can you imagine when you pull the tuna fish out and you see what's left of poor Jose? I mean, that's one you just, God, you never, and then the smell. You just cooked Jose in there. Jeremy says, didn't this happen to a lady at a Walmart or something? Yeah, I remember vaguely. Chris says he was golden brown and delicious. And then there's all the tuna fish that was in the cans. You still sell that, right? Chris says Manuel, not Jose. No, it is Jose. I thought it was Manuel, but it's not. It's Jose. Why did I go back in time to talk about the infamous bumblebee tuna fish incident? It's happened again, but it's not quite as clear what's happening. A Missouri factory worker, 38 years old, dead after becoming trapped inside an industrial oven. So you read that headline and you're thinking, okay, this is it. They're either reenacting the bumblebee tuna fish incident or they're doing something or he's fucking around. I don't know. The name of the plant is called Gilster Mary Lee Cereal Plant in Perryville, Missouri. It happened Thursday. Okay, now it's confusing, though, because this is the oven was not running at the time. And officers rushed to the scene for assistance. Paramedics were unable to access Gomez in time, and he was declared dead at the scene. It remains unclear what injuries Gomez may have suffered, but he is believed to have been cleaning the oven before the accident happened. These pictures don't show me a lot. Looks like some type of factory setting. I don't know. This might be the oven. Looks like something that you would launch on a trip to the moon. Not sure. What I did find interesting about this, though, is that the New York Post, who is one of the publications that has been hell-bent on being lockstep with Trump. You're thinking, how can politics actually play a part into this story? Well, the rest of the story, the New York Post added it as a footnote, and it's going to make people like Cole in Colorado Springs happy. The guy, Nicholas Lopez Gomez, was in the process of using a power washer on the machine from the outside. It is unclear how he ended up inside. No foul play was suspected. And then there's this. Gomez was a Guatemalan national and was working under the alias Edward Avila, police said. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is investigating the incident. So he was probably in the country illegally. So my guess is that since we are because of Trump, at war with people that come to this country looking to live the American life and live the American dream and work for a living, that there will be many people that will be happy that this poor son of a bitch is dead. You know who you are. I cannot believe that they add that onto the story. David says perhaps he was hiding from ice in the oven. Not the worst guess. Jeremy says, it sucked me in. Nicholas Lopez Gomez, if he could talk. Bob says, I feel the lesson learned here is to not clean the oven. Chris says, see, if he had been deported, he would still be alive. Cole says, could not read the sign in English that said, do not enter when oven is on. Bob writes, you think after what happened in Germany, people would stop getting into ovens. All right, I'm not going to get in the way of those jokes. Those are outstanding, frankly. Yoda World says, I'm still eating bumblebee tuna. Man Bun Chris is here. Ladies and gentlemen, news broke yesterday that the MRFC conference playoffs, a new matchup has just been added featuring your Michigan Rangers and some team. I don't know what Mr. FC is, but that's who the Rangers are playing in the conference playoffs. It happens Wednesday, July 9th. In fact, I'm not even sure of the location of this. It's either going to be at the big stadium, but hopefully not. Hopefully, it's at the little stadium. I was just informed that Mr. FC, that's actually the Rangers. So when it said Mr. FC, I was too stupid to realize that that actually stood for Michigan Rangers FC Conference Playoffs. Home taking on some team called TBD. I don't know who the fuck TBD is. Thank you for clarifying that you are not known as Mr. FC and that you are, in fact, the Michigan Rangers. Who the fuck is TBD? Is that like Topeka Ball District? I don't know. Nick says to be determined. Oh, fuck. Yes, it's to be. Maureen says to be determined, too. That stands for to be determined. Holy shit, this is embarrassing. Hold on a second. Maybe grab another one of those, please. Thank you. Chris says, you dummy. TBD says, Chris says TBD is very strong this year. They're undefeated. Jeremy adds, TBD is whatever team has the most players with PTO at their real jobs. Yeah, I don't think you know this, but the Dubai, Qatari, and Saudi money that powers the league, these guys make millions a minute. It's unbelievable, the money that flows into that team. Megan says, I thought you were playing around with the TBD confusion. No, I'm not playing around. What the fuck? It says it's verse TBD. Molly says TBD means to be dicked down. Again, the NPSL is one step above the Premier League. Mbappe wanted to play for Mr. FC, and we told him, no way. You can't. You're not good enough. You're just not good enough. All right. This is bizarre. This lady TikToker probably has like 8 billion people that watch her, chronicling the story of a British 3-time sex offender who went to Disney in Europe and arranged for a wedding to take place. And the wedding that he arranged was to a 9-year-old child. Let's hear what this chick has to say.
This is the sick PDF that tried to marry a 9-year-old at Disneyland Paris. His name is Jackie Jaw. He's a British SO.
By the way, you'll notice various words that you can't say on TikTok.
By the way,
they'll
he's wanted in his sick PDF.
Wreck your content, which I think happened to me because I was broadcasting on TikTok, and then suddenly it said, sorry, you can't broadcast on TikTok anymore.
This is the sick PDF that tried to marry a 9-year-old at Disneyland Paris. His name is Jackie Jaw. He's
Boy, look at this guy. Jesus.
a British SO, by the way. He's wanted in his country for failing to comply with the obligations of even registering as an SO. If you hadn't heard, Jackie tried to set up this fake wedding at Disneyland Paris. He ended up calling it fake once he got caught. As you can tell, he's an adult man, and it was to a 9-year-old girl. The way he was able to prove to his point that it was fake is because there was a string quartet and tons of extras that were hired to be there. Now, in their defense, the extras apparently had no idea that they had been hired for such a sick event. It had been scheduled to happen on Saturday before the park was open to the public. Now, authorities said that the park had been booked out for this wedding around $150,000. But then some Disneyland employees were able to figure out that something was not right when they saw the 9-year-old bride, who was
From
a Ukrainian
okay, there you go. She's from Ukraine.
little girl, by the way. She was scared and confused. She was in this long wedding dress with 5-inch heels, by the way. Now this groom,
It says taped to her feet.
who
I
again
wish we could see her feet.
insisted that all of this was
No, I don't want to see child feet. Sorry.
fake and it was just a social media stunt, has been arrested. Thankfully, the little girl, upon further examination, seems to not have been subjected to any terrible coercive events.
Yeah, there was like a hymen check.
And while Jackie is saying that all of this was just a social media stunt, he still remains in custody. This is what he's being charged with right here. But let's remember that he was basically on the run from his country because he failed to register as an SEX offender. So what do you think?
Oh, well, you just kill him. That's what I think. Chris, looking at the silver lining, says better than stapling the heels to her feet. My God. Holy shit. The fact that he would be so bold that, yeah, I'm going to try this. I mean, if you're going to, look, if you're going to traffic a 9-year-old, you don't want to invite people to the party. Okay? Jesus Christ. In my home state of Michigan, this is a story that's been going around over the weekend, I think it was, in Saginaw. That was the community that I used to live in when I was doing the Joe and the Poor Boy show. There was a hostage standoff that took place on Friday. And some guy went in to a mercantile bank at about 5:30 on Friday with a gun, and he's going to hold somebody hostage, and that's exactly what he did. So for several hours, police negotiators were trying to talk some sense into him and get him to release the hostage, and the hostage was injured. David says this is a hard living line area. Yeah, it is. It is. The whole city of Saginaw is there's a reason why they call it Sag Nasty. I mean, it's a dumpster fire. This assholes got a hostage, and they're like, all right, come on, let's hostage negotiation. And the guy says, I'm thirsty. And they go, all right, you want us to bring you something? No. How about we use a drone and deliver a beverage? Which I didn't know that drones could deliver beverages, frankly. And so now there's video of this somewhere. I was not able to get it. I wish I could, but kind of theater of the mind it. So he asked for like a Red Bull or a fucking Schlitz malt liquor. I don't know. And they've got the drone, and I swear to God, they bring the drone down, and this was a dead giveaway that something fucked up was about to happen. Something great and fucked up. Because there's people everywhere with cell phone videos. The cops, before the drone took off with the beverage, made everybody put their phones away. Because there's people everywhere shooting video from far away. So this does not exist. And that's a goddamn shame, too. Because outside of the bank, the drone is like hovering like right outside of the door. The guy, I mean, this is a fucking amateur move, What you got to do is you got to use the person that you have, that you have hostage as a shield. That's what you're supposed to do. But this fucking idiot is so stupid. He leaned out and he's grabbing the beverage, and then bam! They put a bullet through his fucking brain. Oh my God. And that was it. Holy shit. They used the opportunity of him reaching for the drink to end the standoff. When he exposed himself, the trooper was able to take the shot. According to Michigan State Police spokesman Lieutenant Kim Vetter, gawkers filming the encounter were asked by police to stop filming as the drone descended towards the bank. Spectators reported hearing the shot. Ambulances rushed to the scene. The freed hostage was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and has since been discharged in good condition. That is outstanding work by the cops. Jesus. By the way, did you see that story in Idaho near Coeur d'Alene where some psychopath, he lit like the mountainside on fire, and then he wandered it into an area where he was like undercover, and while the fire is spreading, the fire crews show up to put it out, and he starts shooting firefighters. And he killed 2, and I think wounded another one. This was just last night. They're like, what the fuck? And they ended up, later on, they found the guy dead with his gun, and they don't know if somebody had shot him or if he shot himself. They used like cell phone pinging to determine where he was on the mountainside, and they figured it out. But holy shit, man. That's fucking crazy. Oh, shit. Tophus says someone definitely has video of the guy getting shot. Jeremy with a great question. Was he okay? That's an excellent question. Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. Also in Michigan, we've got a 12-year-old, an enterprising 12-year-old. This is around near the city of Warren, just north of it in beautiful Pontiac, which is a shit show. Pontiac is a disaster war zone. A lot of hard living lines here in Michigan. There's only a few areas that are not hard living lines. Okay. This is a hard living line. And a 12-year-old went to a local car dealership, kind of like the kind of car dealership where, it's like a local one. It's not a big used car facility. Just, maybe a guy who's got 10, 15 cars on the lot. And the kid stole one. And then shortly thereafter, days, he steals another one. The kid, a 12-year-old kid, stole 3 cars. Now, that's outstanding. If you're that young and you already have the ability to get into a locked car and figure out how to start it and take off with it and not get caught, not once, not twice, and finally on the third time somebody catches you, there's some skills there that need to be, you got to take that kid's ingenuity and turn it around so that he's not a career criminal. But this is obviously a smart kid. I think you have to be pretty smart to be able to steal a car. You can't be an idiot, right? Maybe not. Once you figure it out, I guess you just got to keep doing the same thing. But the cops finally arrested this little fucker. 3 cars stolen in the past month. Investigators say that they witnessed the suspect enter numerous vehicles in the business parking lot, and he was carrying a license plate when he was arrested. I guess maybe put a fake plate on the back. And he even sold one of the vehicles. Of the 3 that he stole, he sold one of them. I take it back. He's an idiot because he sold the stolen vehicle for, guess how much he sold it for? Anybody have any ideas what a 12-year-old would sell a stolen vehicle for? Even if you're 12 years old, you got to do better than this. That fucker sold the thing for $30. What an asshole. Stevie guessed 1,000. Tophus guessed 100. David guessed 100. Man Bun Chris said trade on an Xbox. Quote, this young man is on a very bad path, attempting to live his own grand theft auto, said Sheriff Michael Bouchard. Hopefully, intervention by the courts will send him on a better life path, as well as stopping the constant theft from this business. The boy is being held at the Oakland County Children's Village. But that's tough work, If you're a judge or a prosecutor, you got to decide whether or not, how to go about pressing charges. I don't know if the kid's necessarily going to be tried as an adult. Wouldn't surprise me, though, in today's climate if he was. I guess it depends whether or not, if the kid is black or Mexican, probably he will be tried as an adult and will spend many, many years in general population at a hardened prison for adult gay men. I can pretty much guarantee that. Black guy, Latino, tried as an adult for stealing cars at age 12, go to prison, spending the rest of his years being raped. White guy, probably probation. Maybe not that. All charges dropped. Reason number 8,400,000 to not go on a cruise. The kid fell off the side of the thing. Little girl, probably about 6. She fell the distance from one of the decks down into the ocean. Dad jumped in after her. Boat keeps traveling. Amazingly, people saw it and started throwing out the floaty things. Dad managed to tread water for 20 minutes while they lowered the lifeboat and went after and got the kid, and it worked. This is a happy ending. It takes a little bit of time, but like this is them here. They're like actually lowering the boat into the water.
We've never heard it while we've been on a cruise.
All right, so I don't know why that
And
water
if it
there
were
is
a
blue
drill,
like
they would
that.
have told
It's
us.
weird. Maybe like smoke.
Here they go.
Okay, so they've stopped the boat, and now the lifeboat
No.
is traveling. Stupid music. I'm gonna mute the sound here. I don't want to get a YouTube ticket. The kids and the dad have drifted far away. That's them there where my cursor is. Son of a bitch. All right. So then they're getting them on the boat. They blur it because it's a child, I guess. No, there's the kid. There's dad. He's waving. He's all like, yeah! They're cheering on the boat like, ah, come on back, motherfucker. What happened to you?
That poor dad, to imagine his fear.
Aqua Dad. That's what they were
I don't know. I'm just
There's the
thinking
kid with the lady in the yellow helmet there. These are all Disney employees, okay? That sounds like the worst thing ever going on a cruise. Today is the day that the jury begins deliberating Diddy's fate. I predict he's going to beat the rap. I think he's guilty of beating that chick up, and I don't even know if those charges are on the table. But I think that he is. It's going to be all like, yeah, we think it was all consensual. I think he should still go to prison for what he did to that chick. But I think that if there was actual video of the freak-offs, there's going to be numerous people saying, yeah, this was part of the gig. We loved it. Group sex is not illegal. The judge is Aaron Subramanian, Armenian. After receiving legal instructions from federal judge Aaron Subramanian for more than 2 hours, the jury of 8 men and 4 women headed behind closed doors to deliberate. They're sifting through 7 weeks of sometimes graphic and emotional testimony about the rap, fashion, and reality TV impresario's propensity for violence and his sexual predilections, including drug-fueled sex marathons dubbed freak-offs or hotel nights. All right, so let's just say I'm single and I like group sex. All right, and I've got a group of people who are down for group sex. And I have a party called a freak-off where we're all going to have sex with each other. You know, that's allowed. And I think that that is the case that they are making. That everybody that was there at the freak-off was like, oh, man, they were DTF. Okay? The defense has acknowledged that Combs veered into violence, but his lawyers maintain that the sex acts were consensual. They contend that prosecutors are intruding in Combs' personal life and that he's done nothing to warrant the charges against him. And I think that when you have a trial like this and it's just she said against he said, it's always a draw. So my bold prediction here is that all of this is going to be measured and weighed, and he is going to be exonerated so he can get back to being an upstanding citizen.
To say I'm fired up about this one, guys, that would be the understatement of the century.
Kurt Warner is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2017.
I'm gonna just
going
shut
into
that down. Thank you for the Kurt Warner initiative. Man Bun Chris says, Amy, did you listen to the Ben and Eric show from last week? Lots of fascinating feces talk. Oh, it was incredible. Tofa says, down with the clown. They were TBD. I don't know what that means. Down with the clown? Is that, you're saying that they were down with the actual freak off, right? Yeah, we got a lot of mileage out of what Chris in Buffalo does for a living. We all agreed that he should make at least 3 times the wage that he's making right now for what goes on as a turd herder, making water that is filthy with sewage clean. I think the only thing he's misguided about is how he maintains that it's not a good idea to put flushable wipes down the toilet. We all know that they are flushable and it's fine. In fact, I was talking with Pooh Bear about some of the things that we learned about the feces industry, and she didn't even believe me. When we were discussing the cake batter or the brownie pans of feces, I was explaining that to her, and she's like, nuh-uh. Points for Bruce for sleeping on the back. That's adorable. Before we give you the asshole of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you that I get my hair cut at King's Room Barbershop, and you should too. 3 locations, Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street. Kingsroom.net. Go to the website, get information about their location, the hours, schedules, and whatnot. Haircut's going to set you back $21. King's Room Barbershop. Go there and mention me. If you're in West Michigan and you want to take care of some unwanted trees, reach out to Kuiper Tree Care, 616-828-8225 or KuiperTreeCare.com, Kuiper, treecare.com. For tree removal, stump grinding, tree risk assessment with their 3 certified arborists, storm cleanup, or tree pruning, they do it all at Kuiper Tree Care. Last but not least today, Jennison Pool and Spa Depot. That's where we get our chemicals for our pool here, and you should do the same thing. Perhaps you're thinking about getting a pool. You want to dive into that. Get it? It would be a fiberglass or a vinyl lined pool. They can help you every step of the way, whether it's something that's more of a basic model or something more elaborate. They can help you at Jennison Pool and Spa Depot. Thank you. Various suggestions rolling in on the asshole of the day. Cole says, ovens without Spanish instructions. Jeremy says, if they're not flushable, then that's false advertising. Tofis throws out the crack, chocolate lasagna. Your asshole of the day is now. And why not? Just for shits and grins. It's Thor Motor Coach again. Assholes. That is my time. I hope it was good. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here on the podcast. Chris says Disney pedo wedding or wetter. Yeah, we don't know for sure, okay? I don't want to get sued. That guy might have been just doing a social media experiment. Happens all the time. I'll talk to you on the Patreon bonus podcast, folks. And thank you so much for being here. Have a good one. Until next time. Bye-bye.